Hello, hello. Welcome to week 3 of Decluttering Your Life and Your Mind. I'm so excited to see you guys again. I don't know if you just want to, at the bottom in the chat, tell me if you can hear me and see me okay. Okay, let's just have a look. There we go. All right. Okay. So I hope that you had a chance to actually have a go through all. If you've seen the replays that we did, and that you actually got some more benefit out of that, and if you missed the calls at all, hopefully you didn't. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. Please just check that your cameras are off and that you are on mute, because my Zoom isn't so technically upgraded yet, so please bear with me. All right. Okay, so as I mentioned, down at the bottom, in the bar at the bottom, you'll see a chat box. So you're welcome to make any comments, ask me any kind of questions in the chat box. I'm kind of only going to look at it after I've done the lesson and I've done the slideshow. So put all your comments and questions in there. Okay, I'm also going to be recording all the sessions as well, so that if you miss tonight or any of the other nights, I will record it and send it on to you. And then also sometimes I find when I'm watching something and I have an aha moment, my mind is kind of like whirling on this aha moment that I had, that I don't get a chance to actually listen to the rest of it. So it's always nice to be able to go back and listen to the rest of the call as well. So, okay, but having said that, I say this in all my calls, please make a commitment to yourself, show up, ask questions, do the homework. This is the only way you're going to get so much more benefit from this course, is if you actually do those things. Okay, otherwise you're just wasting your time. All right. Okay, so let's do, I just want to remind you again to put off your videos and put yourselves on mute, because I think I can hear somebody in the background. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap from last week. Okay, so we talked about cleaning out the closets of your mind. So taking all your thoughts out of your mind, putting them on paper so that you can figure out what's actually going on in there, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what results that creates for you. So you're actually basically creating awareness of what you are actually thinking. Then we also spoke about the concept of life being 50-50, which I think is such an important one to be aware of, because that means that when things go wrong in your life, you don't think that anything's gone wrong. It's just the normal course of life, and you just deal with things as you would anything else. So, and also you don't appreciate the really good things when they do happen if you don't have bad times. So that's why you've got to have a little bit of both to appreciate everything. All right. Also be aware, we also spoke about being aware of the results that come from how you're thinking and feeling. So I said that whatever you think, whatever feelings you're having, it's because of the thoughts that you're having. And you can have a look at your life around you and see what that has created for you. So you can see the results of your thoughts and your feelings all around you, in your house, in your life, in your relationships. So it's really very important to be aware of what's going on in your mind. Okay, and then I also asked you to make a list of actions that you would take declutter your environment. So I hope you kind of did a list so that we know exactly, or you know exactly what you're going to be able to do, what you're going to be doing to declutter your life. And again, no need to get overwhelmed. You just pick one thing. Okay, we'll go through a little bit of that today, so you'll see how it works. All right, I think we're ready to start our lesson. Okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure that you can hear me. Okay, show, play from the start. Okay, why is it not playing? Just a sec. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm still learning about all this technology stuff. All right, okay, so where are you right now? So this is what we were talking about. These are the results that you have created in your life by how you're thinking and feeling and what you've done. Okay, so us being human, we automatically go to that place where we think of everything that's not right in our lives. You know, things that haven't worked, things that you've tried, the things that didn't work, things that failed, things that you didn't get, that kind of stuff. Oh, sorry, my phone is ringing. Let me just put it off. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's so important to think about positive things that you did actually create in your life. Okay, so we really pat ourselves on the back because of that. Okay, so imagine if you had a broken vase that you put on the mantle or above the fireplace, and you looked at it every day. It's broken. So this is kind of what you do with thoughts that don't serve you. You put them on the mantelpiece and you look at them all the time. I mean, that's it's stupid to do that. I mean, now you're going to have a house. Can you imagine doing that with all your broken things that you've got on the mantelpiece, and now you've got all your broken thoughts, and you can see them all the time. Now, can you imagine if all your broken things were on display in your house, how messy and disorganized your house wouldn't be? And that's the same with your mind. You don't keep the things that are broken and that actually don't serve you. So how about getting rid of all the broken things, everything, all the thoughts, the things in your house, and only keeping the things that you really, really want? Okay, so ask yourself again, does it serve me? Does this thing serve me? Do I want it? Very important. And does it belong to in my future? Do I want to keep it? Okay, do I still want this thing in the future? If the answer is yes, by all means, keep it. Okay, but if you decide what results that you want, you can keep it. But if it doesn't serve you, just let it go. Let it go. So do a little exercise in writing down all the things that you actually did right, the positive and good results that you created in your life. And it doesn't matter how big or insignificant they seem, they are actually all important. Okay. All right. Okay, so now managing your life. Okay, so as I mentioned before, your life, let me just take a sip of water. Your life is made up of your inner and your outer world. And your inner world reflects your outer world, and your outer world reflects your inner world. So what you think is what you create. So you have to clean up and actually manage your mind first before you start managing your life. If you miss that step of cleaning up your mind, you are going to have a really messy life. Okay, so you may keep it clean for a while, but then it won't last. It's going to get messy again. So this is why we keep going back to being messy, to being disorganized. It's because our minds are not right. Like, for example, take your car. If you don't clean it on a weekly basis, it's going to be messy. It's going to be dirty. And your mind, and it's going to have an effect on you, because every time you get in your car, you see all the tissues and the empty wrappers lying around. It's going to be a problem for you. All right. Okay, so being organized means you are living deliberately and purposefully. All right. Okay, now I tell all my clients, I show them how to be organized. I tell them what to do. And in the beginning, everybody says to me, no, but they don't want to be so constricted. It feels like they don't have any freedom in their life. In actual fact, it creates the opposite. Okay, you have so much more freedom. If you know what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, and for how long you're going to be doing it, you have so much more freedom to be doing other stuff. All right, so it is very, very important to be organized. All right, okay. So too much stuff is too much stuff. Okay, you have to decide. You have to say goodbye. And in order to do that, you have to be emotionally mature and clear about what's going on. And a lot of people are just overwhelmed by everything. So they're overwhelmed because of everything everything in their lives needs to change. A lot of people are overwhelmed because they want to do it perfectly. Now, there is no such thing as perfect. So when you want to do things perfectly, you end up not doing anything at all. And what happens? You just stay stuck. Nothing changes. You just end up staying confused. So the good news is that if you organize and you manage your life, it will actually help you make the decisions to actually let go. And this is kind of learning a really important skill. And the way you do this is just by doing one area at a time. You don't need to get overwhelmed at all. All right, let's put your house in order. Okay, now there are two places where you live. Your inner world, which is your mind, and your outer world, which is your house. Now, your house is normally a reflection of what's happening in your mind. So I know from some of my clients, when they are all over the place, I can immediately tell that their houses are a little messy and they're very disorganized. Okay, some clients are very neat, but you find that they've got that one room at the back that's got everything in. And I know you know who you are, because I know we've got some people like that on this call. Okay, so it shows that a part of their lives is in disarray. Okay, so think about your house right now. Is it neat? Is it organized? Can you find stuff? I mean, you think about that one letter that you're looking for. Do you know what you did? Or that document, do you know where to find it? Do you know what you have? Sometimes you open a bunch of closets and you've got 3 items of clothing on one hanger. You don't even know what's at the bottom of all of that. When last did you go through everything? Think about all your storage areas. And I think we're pretty lucky here in South Africa, because we've probably got a garage and maybe a storage area. Because in America, they've got attics and basements and they fill them with lots of stuff. So I think we're slightly better off in that we don't have the space to be able to do that. But if it's overwhelming, then you have work to do. All right. And I want to help you only have the things in your life that really serve you. You must want it. It must serve you. And you must want to use it in the future. It must be something future orientated. So you don't have to keep anything that you don't want to. That drawing that your 2-year-old did, get rid of it. Take a picture of it and get rid of it. Let it go. It's not the thing that is sentimental. It's the memory of it. Memories can keep, but things you can actually let go of. That bottle of nails in the garage you have to keep for when you may one day want to use it. Let it go. If you actually need it, you can go buy one. And generally what happens if you do, you actually do go out and buy it because you're not going to tip out all those nails and try to find the exact size that you want. You'll probably just go to the shop and buy another pair anyway, another packet of nails. It's not wasteful to let go. It's wasteful to keep it and not use it. Have you used it in the last year? Yes, okay, that's fine. Keep it. No, say goodbye to it. We're going to follow a process in all your spaces of your house. And it's the same process that we use for your mind. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, let's put your house in order. Okay, so number one is become aware. So what you do is you take everything out of the cupboard or the drawer or whatever you're busy cleaning. Okay, this is now similar to a thought download. Remember, we took everything out of our minds and put it on paper. You're going to resist doing this. You're going to come up with a lot of excuses, but do it anyway. Give yourself a time frame in which to do it and stick to it. So if you decide you are going to do a drawer, take the drawer out, say you're going to give yourself 15 minutes to do it, then you take everything out of the drawer, you give it a quick clean, okay? Then we get to number two, is ask the 3 questions. Do I want it? Does it serve me? Does it belong in my future? Okay. Let it go if it doesn't. If it doesn't answer any of those questions is no, let it go. Say goodbye to it. Have 2 piles, one for trash and one to donate. Okay, if it's valuable and somebody can use it, donate it. If it's trash, just get rid of it. Give it away. Just, you're done with it. If you want to remember something, for example, I remember cleaning out my kitchen cupboard and I came across this beautiful old plate that my grandmother gave me, but it had a crack in it, so I was never going to use it. So I just took a picture of it and I threw it away. Okay, you can do this. All right, okay, so number 4, you're actually going to create what you want. So now you have space for the things that actually I forgot to go back to letting it go. The stuff that you do want to keep, you dust it off, clean it off, wipe it, put it back in its place. All right, okay. So now you've gotten rid of the things that you don't want. Now you've got space for the things that you do want. What do you want? What do you want for that space? Allow abundance. Allow the space to have abundance. Allow the lightness. Just live with empty shelves and empty closets and create space and room for everything to breathe. You can decide, okay, the shelf had a bunch of old magazines which you chucked away, but really it would be nice to have a pot plant there. So then you put something that you really want there. Okay, we're going to be organizing your spaces one by one. All right. Okay. Okay, and I think, there we go. There was the take out your pile, take everything out, put them in a pile, ask your 3 questions, let it go, and create what you want. Okay. Okay, so new things come to open spaces. All right, okay. So don't let yourself be confused by this process. It's just your brain trying to hang on. Now is the time to actually clean out your mind and your life to make room for the things that you really, really want. All right, so please, enough of the overwhelm. Your brain is going to want you to stay stuck. It's going to want you to be confused. Don't do that. Think of one thing that you won't feel overwhelmed. If it's just a drawer or a shelf or a cupboard, if you're very brave or you think you could do it, pick a room. That's what you do. You pick it and you carry on. Okay, so next week we are going to work on getting your car sorted out. We're going to clean out your desk. We're going to organize your kitchen. And I'm going to give you tips on what to do with all of these. All right, and I think we're done with this. Okay. I just want to check the chat. All right. Okay. All right. So if you've got any questions or like to make any comments, please put them in the chat box. I've got a couple of questions that people have sent in. So if you can't think of anything right now, please, you're welcome to email me on hello@livelifeinspired.co.za if you want any questions that you think about after the time or when you're busy thinking about how you want to clean and declutter. You're always welcome to send me a mail and I will come back to you. Okay, so Barbara says, how can I be creating something that is not in my control? Okay, Barbara, so as I was saying earlier, a lot of the things we do create, sorry, a lot of the things we do create because of how we think and how we feel, and that's the results that you see around you. Obviously, there are things that happen, things that you have absolutely no control over. And those are the 50-50s of life. Those are the good or bad things that happen to you that you have no control over. But here again, you do have control over how you think about that event or thing that happened and how you feel about it. For example, a couple of years, I'm talking about probably about 3 years ago, I was away for my son and I were away for a few days in December, and somebody broke into my house and they stole my TV. I didn't have much of value. It was pretty much my TV, and they stole all of my clothes, everything. The only things that were left over were the things in my laundry basket. And while it is a very upsetting event and it feels very, people coming into your home and invading your space, it's very traumatic. But I chose to think of it that, firstly, they could have trashed my place, which thankfully they didn't. So they took what they wanted and they left. We could have been home while they came, which would have also maybe not worked out so well. So thankfully we weren't there. And also I get to choose a whole new wardrobe. I get to start from scratch. So those were the thoughts that I chose to think about what happened. Obviously things like up my security, all that kind of stuff, but you can choose to think differently about something. Be grateful that you weren't hurt. Be grateful that you didn't have to rebuy all your furniture, for instance, because they messed them all up. Okay, so that's why you have control over what you think and what you feel. Okay. All right, Barbara, I hope that answers your question. Let me just check here. All right. Okay, Boosie says, I do regular cleanups, but before I know it, things are really messy again. How can I keep everything neat? Okay, Boosie, I'll tell you, this is what I think a lot of people deal with. We all get busy and our minds get busy. So we tend to let things slide. But if you can organize yourself, and I know it's top heavy on the doing before you get organized, cleaning up and all that kind of stuff. But once you've got everything up and running and clean, it takes very little effort and um, energy to actually just tidy up. So, for example, at the end of every day with my desk, I clean up, put my papers aside, I chuck the tissue away, I just tidy up slightly. And it takes me less than a minute. So, unfortunately, if you've let things slide, it's going to take a while just to get organized and to get your systems in place. But also then decide, what are you going to be doing after that? After you've cleaned all your spaces, what little 5-minute things can you do every day to keep your space clean and neat? For example, if you wash your car once a week, every day when you get out your car, when you get home, pick up all the papers, all the tissues, all the whatever little bits of packets or crispy whatever crumbs, wipe them off and take them out of the car, because tomorrow you'll get into a nice clean car. All right. Okay. Tina says, decluttering seems to be just one more thing on my to-do list. It feels so overwhelming. How can I change it? Okay, Tina, that's what we were talking about earlier as well. If you think about cleaning everything and doing everything, you are going to feel overwhelmed. So you're not going to want to do anything. Okay, so just pick something small. Pick something that you feel is manageable for you. Now, it's going to be different for everyone. I mean, some people are going to go, okay, I am going to empty my laundry basket and I'm going to wash my clothes. And that's the extent of what they can do. Or some people are going to go, I'm going to wipe my kitchen counters every night before I go to bed. And that's what they do. And other people go, they do a whole whirl through the house, pick up things, put things away. That might take maybe 15 minutes. So the idea is to pick something that's manageable for you and to do that. And also when we go and we decide we're going to do a proper declutter of our whole house, give yourself a time frame. So you don't just say, I'm going to clean the house, because that is overwhelming. Say, today I am going to wash the floors, or today I am going to tackle those 2 cupboards over there. And that's all you do. And you're going to say, give yourself a half an hour, and that's what you do. And that also helps you with your decisions of letting go. All right, because if you have a day to do 2 cupboards, you're going to be holding up every little item and you're going to be going, should I keep it? Shouldn't I? So this is also an easy way to give yourself a time limit, and then just go, okay, I don't have time to do all this. Do I use it? Does it serve me? No? Okay, off it goes. And it makes it much easier on yourself. All right, I hope that answers your question. All right, Naomi asks, I do keep a lot of stuff in case I need it later. Do I throw these things away? Okay, good question. So my feeling is, if you've got a hobby, or there are a lot of little bits and pieces that you use a lot. For example, if you're into flower arranging, you've got all your bits and pieces, you've got your vases, you've got your sponges, you've got your wires, you've got your cutters, so you've got a whole bunch of things. Now my suggestion is, keep them in a space, all in one space. Don't have them scattered all over the house. Keep it on a gardening bench, or in a gardening shed, or a specific space where you keep those things, so you know where they are. And if there are things that you don't use, clean it out regularly. I mean, a lot of people have hobbies like making necklaces and earrings and all that kind of stuff. There's lots of little fidgety things. But if there are beads and things that you don't use, get rid of it. Do a clean. Say, give yourself, every 3 months you go through everything and you give it a good clean. Now, for me, I used to have, I do still have it. I've got a drawer where I keep, those gift bags and tissue paper and, little bows and all that kind of stuff for gifts. Okay. And I've got 2 drawers full, or I had 2 drawers full, and they were full of these gift packs. Now I've got Christmas ones, with the reindeers with the little eyes and all that stuff, and one eye's fallen off, and just get rid of it. So if you don't use it, if you haven't used it in the last year, get rid of it. You don't need all of those packets. You have a few, which obviously you'll need if you've been invited over and you need to take a gift or it's somebody's birthday, then you've got it there. But keep it all in one place, keep it neat, and go through it regularly, clean it out. Okay. And then also things, as I was mentioning earlier, with a bunch of nails. If you don't use things regularly, if you don't use them in a year, get rid of it, really, because you're really not going to use it. It's just cluttering your space. So that's how you declutter, as you are just mindful of all of the things that you've got in your house and the things that you use and the things that you don't use. All right, I think that, let me just check the chat again. Okay, Garth says, thank you. I move next week and I have decluttered so much. Best thing ever. Cleaned out all the junk. Well done, Garth. I'm so proud of you. At least you end up not carrying or moving as many boxes as you thought you would have. All right. Okay. Well, that would be the end of that. Okay. Any other questions? Please email me on hello@livelifeinspired.co.za. Just to let you know, also, I still have a few one-on-one live coaching spots available. So if you want to know more about it or if you want to work together, please email me as well. We can set up a consultation. We can have a chat and we will go from there. Okay. Also, we'll be on week 4 next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And before then, I will send you the Zoom link for it, and I'll send you the replays for week 1, 2, and 3. So please, if you didn't get a chance to watch, please watch them all before we do week 4, because we're going to get really stuck into cleaning all the cars and the kitchens and the desks. Okay, so thank you very much for joining tonight, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.